Was there things that I wanted that I now have today? I've seen myself get things that I wanted before. Deep down, there's no world that I'm not going to have these things. At the core, get to that. Hello. So I think this kind of goes into it, but I'm having the worst day ever. But today we're going to go into like just things around building a company and like, you know, how I got to where I am today, and hopefully relatable stuff for people to really dive deep, and so that people know I have a really large agency. We've had it for 5 years and it's been very successful, has over 200 employees, and we've helped so many females around the world and employed so many people and helped them get out of debt. And it's been so fruitful and exciting, but at the same time comes with a lot of hardship. So with bawling, crying, and when you walked into my room this morning, just dealing with so much shit. That's really what we're going to get into today. So we're going to try to kind of change the roles, and you're going to interview me.
I'm so excited to interview you today because obviously I've looked up to you my whole life, even though you're my younger sissy. You've just like obviously inspired me, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for you. So I appreciate you. And I want to give everyone the knowledge that you gave me. So I'll do my best to ask questions that I feel like would really help people.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah. Just coming from myself, because I know how I work, and I can sometimes be a procrastinator, or I don't get things done that I'm like goals that I have. What do you think made you always push to like keep on striving and go after things that like, even when you were first starting out, everybody thought you were like crazy. So how did you push past all of that?
I feel like that's really cool to think about too. But yeah, I mean, you've seen I've failed a million times. I've gotten screwed over by so many people in this industry, and growing a business in LA is probably one of the hardest places in the world. Even though it has the most opportunity, it's like the most opportunists and people that take advantage of you, and people that are bragging and speaking about like, oh, I do this, 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 and this, and then you find out it's not all true. There's just so much layers to LA. So it is a hard industry, and people are greedy out here. And so when you're a good person and you try not to screw over people, people sometimes see that you're a good person and then they screw you over. So it's weird. But I think that constantly being told or people underestimating me makes me motivated. Yeah. Like when someone screws me over, I'm just like, I can't. Initially, I feel like shit and I bawl in my room and I feel like I'm unworthy and not good enough. But then after, I'm like, I can't wait till you realize who you just screwed over, because you're going to regret this forever. And then it's crazy because then when you reach that point in your life and then you know that they're watching you succeed, it's the most fulfilling moment ever. But then also by that time, you also don't care about them at all anymore. And I'm like, you know,
yeah,
so
like you're just a blimp in my
yeah. And growth. Thank you for the lesson.
Yeah. Because I feel like you've had a lot of lessons, and what pushes you to just keep on. Like, how do you see each one as like a positive or a growth? Like, how do you see it as like that strength to like move forward?
I think always, like with anything that sucks in life, you don't look at it that way. And I do have a problem with sometimes like going into victim mentality when things are happening to me, like the thing that happened to me today. It kind of feels like, why is this happening to me? Like, why does this keep happening to me? So I feel like that's really normal. It's hard not to get upset and feel like the world's hard on you. But I think that caring more about succeeding at the end of the day when you go to sleep or like the next day, like you just have to kind of be a little bit crazy to want to like do it again. But like part of you is kind of just like, I don't know. I just like feel like I never want to quit, which is good. Thank God. But it just because then I would feel like more of like, then they were right, or like then I wasn't good enough or something. It's like I'm not gonna accept it fully, even though I'm hard on myself. I'm not gonna fully accept that.
I'll never fully, because then it's like, what's the alternative? Okay, I just give up.
And then you feel petty. Yeah. And I genuinely do think it's good to like have times where you like pout and get sad and let yourself go into the dumps for a little bit and cry. Because I think that I used to think that was bad. Yeah. But I think you have ups and downs, and you need to cry and let it all out and have those down moments, and then get up and then be like even stronger.
Because you almost release the energy. And I learned that even just with trauma release, that a lot of things you don't let yourself feel, they become things later. They manifest into like anxiety or depression or other things later. So you might as well go through that pain and like, and you'll get stronger. I feel like every single time you do get stronger, like you feel better afterwards. So it's like, why not?
Agreed. Yeah.
100%. Because also, do you ever think about the fact that like you have a lot of people that rely on you too? So that probably helps push you, like all your employees and things like that, that you've changed their lives.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you have, I always thought that once I had this many people I worked with that you would feel like you do, but like you kind of sometimes it doesn't feel real. It never feels like you can't really wrap your head around it because you're not seeing everyone at one time.
Yeah.
You know, they're all just like working
Yeah.
and doing their thing. I mean, when I'm in the office and I see everyone, it's always like a tingly feeling where it's like, wow, this is so crazy that all these people are like going after the same mission and goal, and it's very fulfilling. But yeah, I think for sure when you see them all together, it makes you so much more motivated to create like a good path for all of them and make sure that they know how, much they're learning and how much they're growing as people. And like I feel like I've created an environment that allows everyone to like somewhat be making, like, not completely making the rules because we put rules in place, but as far as like being self-motivated and pushing yourself, and you can always grow if you want, and if you decide to, and like we recognize the people that do. So like I get excited to encourage people to feel that way, because I feel like I've been in places in my life growing my career, and like when there's not that opportunity or growth or things like that, it's kind of like
Monotonous,
depleting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What if someone's just starting out a business or like something they want to work on? How would you go about starting it, and how'd you find your thing?
Yeah, I think that you never know what your thing is going to be, because I didn't know mine was going to be this. And I'm like, how did I end up here?
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's almost like the easiest route, don't you notice?
Yeah, it's like,
It comes more like,
yeah. I think that what you need to just do is keep trying everything that you think of doing and put your all into it. And even if you fail, like you're learning something that's going to help you with the next thing.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm saying like do a million businesses at once, but like if you come up with an idea and it is exciting to you and you're passionate about it, go towards it with full force, because you're going to learn so much about it. Like even when we had that app idea when we were younger, like I'm so happy that I pushed forward and wanted to make the deck and wanted to pitch it and wanted to see what it was like to try to get investors and like learn those parts. And like I initially looked at it as we failed, but now I look back and I'm like, wow, I learned things from that,
much.
Even
pitching.
Yeah.
So much.
Like all my pitch came from learning how to get in front of like a group of businessmen that are wealthy and learn how to just sell them on something.
On your vision.
Yeah. And so all those little things do help you with the bigger picture. And like there's people that I think the biggest thing is being excited to learn is the most important thing if you want to be successful, because like I would be in rooms with people that I looked up to and I just was like soaking in everything that they spoke about that I thought was good, like only with people I looked up to that I'm like, wow, this person's a beast, or they know how to do this very well or this very well. I would actually try to like actually understand why are they saying that and why are they doing that, or how do you develop, like structure a company, and like, and why are they doing it like that, and like things that seem so complex when you first hear them because you're like, what the hell? But like really just try to like wrap your head around it and ask and not be afraid to ask questions. I think I wasn't afraid to ask questions.
You weren't scared of, and I think that was always a thing, like my things that I needed to work on, is you never worried about letting people know that you don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like you weren't scared of like, oh, saying like, I don't know what that is, explain it. Even if it seems like something simple, like you're like, just explain it. But then you got so much more information out of those people, instead of people where we're just like, oh, cool, and you want to act smart and act like you know what people are talking about. It's like they like helping you.
And it's funny because it actually makes them feel better about themselves when they get to help you, because then they're like, when you're like, well, how do you structure yourself as an LLC and like make it so, taxes or whatever question you had, like they get excited to tell you and teach you. It feels fulfilling to them and rewarding to them that they know and they can help you. Like
Yeah.
that's like people like doing that for free.
Yeah.
You know?
They feel good about themselves. Yeah. They're like, yeah, no, I know the feeling.
Yeah. It's like with you with dating advice.
Yeah.
You're like so excited to like, and then you see them excited, like, wow, I never thought about that. And then you're like, and anything else? Like,
I know, like, go on.
what else do we want
I
to
always
talk?
help all my friends.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's fulfilling for
Yeah.
sure.
I think there's so many different types of people as far as like, what is your core wound? Like we've talked about it. Like, what is your core wound that like drives you to like do things, whether that's like to be successful or to go after certain things in your
Show
life.
that you're worthy enough.
Yeah. And so I think that everyone's is different. And there are some people that I've met and you've met that it's like, yeah, they want that thing, but they're like, they won't put themselves in a situation to go get it. Like they feel like safer hiding rather than pursuing. So like, even though they'll get down on themselves for not trying it, they just feel safer there.
It's like a fear of failure too.
Yeah, for sure. My core wound would be, and I think everyone's core wound is unworthiness, is what they say, is that the root is everything is not feeling good enough. But mine is, for some reason, my life path has led me towards, you know, feeling the need to prove that I'm good enough. And I think some people's is feeling not good enough, so they don't want to, they don't even want to risk proving to themselves that they're not good enough if they fail.
Yeah.
But for mine, it's like I'm starving to feel good enough. So I'm willing to, even though it hurts me so badly, anytime I fail, I still am like, I have to get this feeling of feeling good enough. And anytime, and what's great about building a company is you do get those little wins and those like fulfill you, and then you get addicted to that feeling
Yeah.
of feeling good enough. And
So
smart enough
it
and-
like it encourages you along the way, even when there's like some hardship. Did you have a lot? How long do you think it took you before you started getting those wins? Like, was it a struggle?
Yes, it took me like years, right? I want to say like 7 years until I got a business that was successful.
Which is good to tell people, because I think a lot of people may do something. Even me, I was hard on myself even just for a year of doing something. And I was like, oh, it's not going anywhere. I should probably change it. And it's like, just because it was a year is nothing.
I know. I think that's the thing that I keep hearing the most lately from like successful people around me is that they'll be like I was talking to someone the other day and they like manifest things so well and they're very successful, and they were talking to me about like, yeah, my next goal is this much money in this, and they've already manifested a lot of money in their life and a lot of things they wanted. So then I was like, okay, well, how do you go about that? And they're just like, well, I keep thinking about it all the time, but I'm not pressuring myself on the time because, you know, there was times that I dreamed of making what I have today, and that was like 5 years ago. You know?
Yeah.
And so not being so hard on yourself on the time and when things are right for you, but that's hard.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all want it like now.
But that's the issue, is because as soon as you actually manifest the things you want, which I manifested some really cool things in my life. And then when I got there, it's like, as soon as you get there with it, you enjoy it for probably a millisecond. And then you're like, okay, but now I have a new goal and now I want to be here.
Exactly.
It's never, so that's why it's like, it is very important to enjoy that journey.
And I think that just sitting down with yourself at the end of the day and thinking about the things you want and getting to your core self and sitting with yourself and behind all the bullshit or reasons why you're not going to have it and all that stuff, just completely sit with yourself and release all those thoughts and just think to yourself, like, was there things that I wanted that I now have today? Oh yeah, this. Okay, so I've seen myself get things that I wanted before. So then can I just tell myself that there is no way that I'm not going to have these things? Like,
Yeah.
I'm 100% going to have these things in a matter of time. I don't know when, but I know deep down there's no world that I'm not going to have these things. And if you just get at the core, get to that.
Yeah, because
And
that's
hard
building
to
the
do.
belief. That's building the belief. So seeing that you've done it before helps you build that belief. And then I love that book, Atomic Habits, where like instead of worrying about like that end goal, just do little micro things every day, and eventually those accumulate and it becomes that person you want to be. But
Yeah.
like, don't think of it as like, fuck, I have so much to do. Think of just like, okay, one day at a time, one day at a time.
Yeah.
And have a good routine. I like that. How did you you have a really good network of people, and I want you to explain to people why having a network made you so successful and how you built that network.
Yeah, I mean, I know we have a whole
Yeah.
episode on networking, which is good.
Yeah.
And I think it's called Networking to Grow Your Business or something. But yeah, I feel like what we touched on, and obviously we go into it even more in the episode, but is actually genuinely caring about what other people do is like a huge piece
Yeah.
to networking, because obviously if you don't care,
You have real curiosity in people.
yeah. So you have to be curious and actually, and then when you're curious, you remember what they do. And then you kind of like have this whole list as you're going out and meeting people of people that do content creation, lawyers, insurance people, I don't know, like
Yeah.
salespeople. And you just start to like put everyone in this network of things. And then you start to help people connect them with your network. And then people start to look at you as valuable because you actually help them. And then that's also true abundance. Like when you help others, you get abundance back. Like when you give,
Yeah.
you get.
You're getting back from the
Yeah,
universe.
the universe rewards you more. So
Yeah.
networking is so important.
Yeah. And I like that even someone I was with lately, they always, every time they meet someone, even if it's just like somebody in passing or whatever, they always start like a little conversation with people. And like he's met really cool people that way. So I was like, just not just writing people off right away, I think is important.
Oh, that's so important. Also, I've met some people in my life that are so abundant, and they'll just connect me with people and not want anything for it. They're like, no, I just want to help you. Like, here you
Yeah.
go. And I'm like, really? And those are just the most, I don't know, amazing people. And those people have been the most successful people I've ever met, which is wild. Like the most successful people are the ones that give the most,
Because
which
they
is
are
wild.
abundant. Because they know, like, by me giving, it's not going to take anything from me. It actually just helps.
Yeah.
You've been working on so many things at once, different projects and businesses. How do you prioritize your time?
Yeah, I don't like fully recommend doing that sometimes. I'm like so on the fence if that's not good or good. But I organize myself with Trello. I put like things on Trello and then I look at that every day, and then I have my calendar always organized of like what I need to do at different times. But then I kind of get annoyed when I get booked so much because then I have so
every
much.
moment.
Yeah, then it's like annoying.
Feminine energy doesn't like structure.
Wow.
So that's probably your feminine side. So for men, they probably can have like every day, but women, because women, the feminine is in flow state. So like if you're feeling energized to work on something that day, usually you should follow that intuition and gut.
That's interesting because I feel like then it makes me think I'm way more in my feminine than I thought, because I'm so
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Like even if I planned something to work on, if I don't feel like aligned with it, I won't work on it that day.
Because you just know you're going to be like pushing it. And
Yeah.
then there's some days though where all of a sudden like ideas keep coming to you and you're like, okay, I just need to work on it today. Even
Yeah.
though today you normally wouldn't.
Yeah, there's days I'll work like really late because I'm just so passionate about the thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like very in your feminine for sure. I like that. What knowledge do you think is important for people who want to work in any part of social media?
Yeah, so I think the main thing is understanding like that our world is changing and how monetization is changing so quickly. And so things that you might have thought were like, this is a waste of my time, are actually not a waste of your time. Like understanding a hook on a social media video, to understanding like what content aesthetically looks good together, to understanding how to convert a sale, or like how to engage a fan, or all these things on social media like that people might not even realize. They're actually like helping you grow and learn and become more valuable with anything you do. What freaks me out is people talking about the internet moving into a place where influencers can be just generated AI, and that fans will get to a place where they actually are gravitated more towards AI and the influencers that are generated by AI. Like I just get the chills at that, because I'm like, well, would people really want to like connect with someone that they know isn't actually real? But a lot of people's hypothesis is that in the future, these influencers, they'll be like huge influencers that are completely AI, and that fans will gravitate towards them because they can pump out content overnight. They can do whatever you want, and they'll study exactly what trend works and exactly how to say it, and it'll just be generating so quickly that we can't even keep up to make the content as a human at the level they are, which is just a weird thought and creepy thought to have.
Yeah, I actually saw where there's a study done where they showed people pictures of AIs and humans, and people actually liked the AI more. It was scary.
That's the stuff that freaks me out the most.
They gravitated towards the AI. I was like, no way would they? And I was like, they do.
Creepy.
Is there any knowledge or information you'd want to share with someone that would help them in social media or in business?
I think it's just like, be okay with learning something that you get passionate about on social media, whether that's like editing a video or watching how someone launched their podcast, or watching like exactly how did they do it and why did they use that clip and why did they use that, or someone launched their brand and you heard it's doing successful, if it's doing sales, how are they running their Instagram and why did they post it like that, and like being okay with going down rabbit holes and learning something, and if it excites you, and knowing that that actually is helping you like in all areas, because you don't know what information that's giving you and then is leading you to opportunities and businesses or people that you can work with because you have this information or you've studied something on the internet. And there's so much information on the internet now. So like being excited about like gaining and retaining information on stuff that you can find literally for free right now. I feel like if you do that, there's so much opportunity in social media to make money.
100%.
So much.
Because they don't realize too like how much work you're doing on other things that you don't have time to
Exactly.
do that. So like people who actually put in the time to study the things that are very valuable today, because a lot of people aren't actually doing it.
Yeah, like one of the things me and Garrett were talking about the other day, my content creator that's here right now, is he was talking about like even finding someone that knows trends on social media. Like people are hiring from those wild jobs today. Like someone that like is studying TikTok and knowing what the videos that are going viral and why they're using this clip. And oh, if you use this clip and you do this with your arms, that will go viral right now. Or trust me, post this. Like that is so valuable if you know that stuff, if you're addicted to social media. Like there's just so many random cool jobs that you can get and do by having like weird little niches and things that you love. Like it's and that's the most exciting part of the internet. So I think that is like being okay to be like curious and excited about something and diving into it. And like if you go into workspaces and you pitch why that's valuable, because once you understand your thing, then you could look at the marketplace and see what companies would benefit off having that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Because even me, when I was trying to figure out my purpose, I just picked things that I loved about myself. I was like, I love the comedy aspect, me being able to help people, and like their like psychology. So I was like, oh, dating advice is the most fun one. So I just picked like all the things I liked about me and I was like, make it into one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah.
That's cool. Well, thank you so much, Sissy. As you guys know, we read all the comments and we're here every single week. So let me know what parts resonated with you the most and subscribe. This means so much to me to come here and share with you guys every week.
And thank you for coming on a day that you were having a really hard day, because I think it's really cute to see the full, authentic you when she was actually going through a hard time today. So thank you for being here and sharing your knowledge and still putting out videos.
Find my beautiful sissy at Tosh.
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Love you.